Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to take 2 of the UT1HP recap slash strategy guide. It's take 2 because the original take 1 version of this, I still have it on my computer. I'll upload it someday. But I did it right after I finished the run, so I was on a bit of an adrenaline high and I was really stuttery and discombobulated. It's not a great video. I'll still upload it someday. It's in my backlog of videos, which modernly I'm uploading from every other day in order to get some variety because I only have one thing that I actively am like, oh, I can record that. That being said, let's get into the actual strategy guide. So first things first, Minecraft has a background because it's a nice neutral background. Second of all, file 0. That's where this starts. I recommend getting a completely fresh slate for this run because you are file editing. So you want to go into app data in File Explorer. This is a guide for Windows. I don't know how you would do this on Mac or Linux. Tough luck to you if you're on Mac or Linux. I don't know if Undertale even runs on Mac. I know it runs on Linux. So you want to go to app data. There are free folders from there, roaming, local, and local low. I don't know which one Undertale is in, but it's organized alphabetically. So, go check all of them. You'll find Undertale, and from there, it's fairly easy to navigate to where a file called file 0 is stored. There may also be a file 8 and a file 9, and there's definitely a file called undertale.ini. You want to take all 2 if it's just file 0 and undertale.ini, or 4 if files 8 and 9 are there, or maybe it's free, you might just have file 8 or file 9. Basically, take all of those files and either, 1, create a new folder in that same place, and title it main save or something like that, or 2, do the same thing on your desktop and put them there. Then when you boot up the game, it won't see those folders basically, or those files, and it'll create a new file 0 and a new undertale.ini, and it'll basically be like you're playing the game for the first time. So first you're going to be naming your character. If you want to do the run exactly like I did, which I don't recommend, you're going to name yourself Frisk to activate hard mode. I will get to how to bypass the end of the ruins using file 0 again later, once that becomes relevant if you are on hard mode. Now, once you've named your character, you're going to go into the game, Flowey. If you want to be authentic to the run, dodges bullets. If you don't, dodges bullets, I mean, you have 20 HP at this point, so, that's fine. You can make it go faster if you really don't care, but if you do that, it's not authentic to the run. You're gonna continue past Flowey, then to the first save point, save your game, and exit. Now go back into app data, maybe just don't close the folder, and open the new file 0, and you'll see a bunch of numbers, and at the very top, what you named your character. You can change the name. You can't, if you're in the ruins and you're like, oh, I didn't name myself Frisk, but I want to be on hard mode, I'm going to change my name to Frisk. That won't activate hard mode all of a sudden, I don't think. But you can try. That being said, the values you need to actually change. The value right under your name is going to be a 1. That is your LV. Change that to negative 3.75. Right under that is a 20 and another 20. Those are your max HP and your current HP. I do not know what order those are in. Change them both to a 1. You will have a maximum and a current of 1 HP. That's the challenge of this run, if you hadn't figured that out by watching my videos. And if you're only seeing this video, I'd recommend going and watching some of the Undertale 1 HP videos I did, just for a reference of actual gameplay. I wouldn't watch all of them. They're all pretty long, and I don't make much progress in each video. Like, there's literally the one... Oh, I didn't mention that at the start of this video. Did I? Shoot, I don't remember. But one of them is just titled Asgore, Asgore, Asgore. I don't remember how many times I wrote out the word Asgore. I actually just copy-pasted it after the first one. But basically, it's just Asgore over and over again, and it's 5 hours of me failing to beat Asgore. So that's fun. But don't watch the entire videos. They're long and they don't really get anywhere. But, you know, watch, like, I'm going to watch 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 10 minutes in the middle of this one, the last 10 minutes of this one. Get an idea of the run, I'd recommend. And also, I want you to watch my videos. So then, shoot, where did I leave off? Right, you've just made it so you have only 1 HP. So now you're going through the ruins. Not many tips in the ruins. The one thing you definitely need to do is... No, there are 2 things you definitely need to do. 1, buy a spider donut from the spider bake sale. You don't need this for a healing item, you need it to skip the Muffet fight later. Because why would you fight Muffet if you don't have to? Like, you can choose to fight Muffet, but I have no tips and tricks for you there besides use the spider donut, because I just skipped it in my own run, because I was like, why would I do that? At the time I got to the spider bake sale, I already was able to figure out this is an incredibly difficult run. And 2, the one thing, again, the next thing you definitely need to do is at Toriel's house, sleep in the bed to get the slice of snail pie if you're on hard mode, or butterscotch pie if you are not on hard mode. You do, if you're on hard mode, get the snail pie, and then, like, go back and save your game. Oh, my voice is I'm starting to get some dry throat. I should have grabbed a glass of water for this. Oh well, too late now. The snail pie on hard mode does still lower Asgore's stats. Like, I experienced this myself. I don't know why. Like, at this point, Toby, from the end screen of hard mode, was never sure if he was going to complete it, but he did program the snail pie to debuff Asgore, it would seem. So either A, he was unsure if he would do it, so he was like, oh, it's just going to be easier to program that functionality in now instead of doing it later when I expand hard mode, or B, just copied the data of the butterscotch pie and changed it slightly. I don't know which. Maybe it's neither, and there's like some third option I'm just not imagining, but you get the idea. So those are like the stops you need to make there to make the run later easier on. That being said, I do have some tips for the actual fights. And by the actual fights, I mean Nabstablook and only Nabstablook. Just immediately get to cheering him. Don't bother with anything else. When he does the hat, you can cheer or flirt. It doesn't matter which. When he does the attack with, like, the squiggly tears that go around the the battle box in, like, a square and head downwards where you are, move slowly to, like, just barely get out of the way of the first of those, and do that over and over, and then once you hit the edge of, like, where if you went more to the left, you would be, you know, hitting the tears at the edge, start going down. That's how you dodge that one. Otherwise, my advice for all enemies in the ruins is get good, except for Toriel. You don't need to dodge Toriel's attacks. Toriel will just avoid you because you're at 1 HP. So, next is Snowdin. What do I have to say about Snowdin? Get good. That's about it. Yeah, no, that's literally it for Snowden, pretty much, except for the papyrus fight at the end. During the papyrus fight, you don't actually need to beat him legitimately. If you fail the fight 3 times, then papyrus will say, "Hey, I don't really want to fight you. I mean, if you want to fight, that's cool. I'll fight you. I'll give it my all. But like, can we just not do this?" Or something like that. So take that offer if he gives it to you, I'd say, and then you don't have to fight papyrus. But if you beat him within your first 3 tries, hey, cool. Um, but you literally don't have to fight papyrus, so that's cool. And then we get to waterfall. So once again, my advice is get good for pretty much the entirety of waterfall. There's nothing specific you need to worry about there. There is Undyne, where actual strategy does need to be deployed in a way. So when you get to Undyne, there is a save point when you first enter the room. You can abuse that save point with some finagling. Here's how. So you save your game right before the Undyne fight, of course, duh. Then go forward. Well, yeah, go forward, fight Undyne, get through phase 1, flee, go forward into the cave like you're supposed to, and immediately turn around. Undyne will no longer be in that area to chase you. I don't know if she will spawn at some point to chase you, so I wouldn't dilly-dally, but Undyne won't be there to chase you at this time. So then you can just continue backwards, exit the room from the other side, like not going forward into Hotland, then go back in, save your game again because the save point's back. Undyne acts like Undyne's back atop like the little hill thing there, comes down at you, and you go into phase 2 of the fight. If you die during phase 2 now, you have saved that you completed phase 1, and you will start back up at phase 2. Yeah. And then at the end of phase 2, do that again. Phase 3, do it again if you really want to. It's not entirely necessary, but, better safe than sorry with this run. And then just continue forward, because after phase 3, you can just spam flee and not actually fight Undyne. So, that's pretty great. Sorry. So, right. Yeah, then, blinking, sorry. Where was I? Right. Yeah, give Undyne the water, or don't, I guess. Uh, oh, if you are going for the true pacifist ending, I should mention, do it in whatever order you want. I personally, just to avoid travel time, did the Papyrus date as soon as possible, went back into the Undyne date as soon as possible, because River Person isn't exactly going to be like, yes, I now have a total of 1 health point. Eat crap and die. That's not a thing that happens. So, you can do that stuff whenever you want to, but I'd recommend doing it pretty immediately just to avoid backtracking if you're doing the true pacifist ending. So then you get to Mettaton and his quiz show. Just watch Alphys. She tells you the answers. I don't know if Mettaton will actually kill you if you get a question wrong at this stage. Don't know. I don't think it's a good idea to try and find out. I mean, you just have to redo the intro sequence with Mettaton, but excuse me. Still, not the most fun thing in the world to do. So you get past the Mettaton's quiz show, then you are in Hotland. Oh boy, it's Hotland. On nups. So, those of you in hard mode may have noticed I never mentioned how to bypass the end of hard mode. I just remembered that. Sorry. Bit late, but better late than never. Yeah, blanking. Sorry. I completely lost both of my trains of thought because I randomly remembered. Oops. So, right. Once you've gotten the snail pie, if you're in hard mode, go back, save your game again, close out, open file 0, and scroll to the very bottom. The second value from the bottom, like there's the very bottom value, one up from that, is what room you're in. Just increment that by a few. Generally, it's pretty straightforward. Like, one room leads into the next. So it's probably what room. Yeah, I don't know. Just increment it by a few. See where you are. Just mess around with that until when you load into the game, you're right outside the exit to the ruins, and then proceed as normal. Uh, so after that short intermission, for those folks who chose to be on hard mode, we are back to the standard guide and recollection of my experience. Hotland. Yeah. Get good. The mettaton quiz shows aren't affected by being at 1 HP. The enemies, you just need to learn how to spare them, dodge them, stuff like that. Generally, I'd recommend sparing stuff. Again, because I don't know if your LV can actually increase. Gaining EXP might just crash the game. It might do nothing. I don't know. But sparing stuff is the fastest way to get past anything, especially if you're at love negative 3.75, because that'll probably make it so you do less damage. So, now, where was I? Shoot. Sorry. You do Hotland, you get to the core. Nothing to mention in the core, except for the mettaton fight. Going into the mettaton fight, I was thinking, okay, I know that I can throw the stick to get, what are words? Shoot, sorry. Right, to get 700 ratings, and from there, I'm gonna boast, because boasting gives you ratings gradually increasing as long as you don't take damage. You're not gonna take damage. You have a maximum of 1 HP. If you take any damage, you will die immediately, and then the run is over. So, logically, you're just gonna boast, right? Wrong. If you're smarter than the average bear, unlike me, you'll know that if you're at 1 HP and you pose, you will get a lot more ratings than that. I think 600 each time, just about, something like that. Sorry, I thought I heard the Minecraft music for a moment. I was like, huh? It seemed very quiet too. It was unusual to me. So yeah, that'll get you through the fight very fast. Normally the fight ends at 10,000 ratings. It doesn't end there. Even you'd have to keep going because I guess the fight isn't scripted to like end that early. Like if it did end at 10,000 ratings when you get there that fast, it would genuinely end before the first time Mettaton shows you his heart, which is funny to me. I think it might even end before that anyways. Um, so then you're moving on to New Home. Not much to say. Grab the true knife if you haven't grabbed the gun. I will say this. I know technically you can do more damage with the gun than with the true knife. That being said, I know it's a lot harder to do that more damage. Like, you have to get all hips in exactly the same spot to do more damage with the gun with the true knife. And maybe same goes for other weapons like that where you have multiple things. But for general purposes, you're going to want to use the true knife But if you're really like, no, I'm gonna do this as fast as possible, even if it's slightly harder, then do it with the gun. I mean, I think it might be a bit harder than slightly harder, but you get what I mean. Um, Asgore. Yeah, so either the true knife or the gun, whichever you think you're going to be better with. The true knife is if you're not great at the combat system of Undertale. The gun is if you think you can nail those all at the same exact spot. At least I think. Maybe one can be off. I don't know. Don't quote me on this. I'm no expert. That's why I use the true knife. Actually, I think it's called the worn dagger, right? I don't know why I call it the true knife by default. I've never even done a genocide run. But yeah, the worn dagger. So use the worn dagger or the gun, worn dagger. I went over this already like 5 times. Don't know why I'm saying it again. So turn 1, use the pie. Then turns 2, 3, and 4, talk to Asgore. This will lower, both of these will lower his defense stat, and I'm fairly sure that makes the fight go faster. And from there, it's just attack him and get it as close to the center as you can. All of these attacks are very difficult to dodge. Do I have any specific tips? Let me think. Hold on. See. The wave attack. No, no. No tips there. Yeah, I don't think I have any specific tips. Sorry. But that's just the way it is. Uh, it's just a matter of practice. Like that 5-hour video where I tried to beat Asgore, that wasn't even the end of it. I think there was another like nearly 2-hour video where I tried and didn't beat him, and then a 45-minute video where I then finally did beat him. So like in total, that's like I don't know. I mean, I think it's probably somewhere around 7 or 8 hours, somewhere between there, that it took me to beat Asgore in this challenge. So it's hard. Asgore is not easy. All the other bosses before this, you've had some trick up your sleeve. Toriel didn't attack you at all. Nabstabluk is a mini boss. The Mad Dummy, admittedly, is a bit of is also a mini boss. Not that bad. Muffet you can skip. Undyne, you have the weird save trick. Papyrus you don't have to fight. Mettaton, you pose dramatically every time, and the audience is like, oh my gosh, they're on the brink of dying, and they're just posing, they're not healing, not realizing that you are constantly in this very frail state. There's no trick like this on Asgore. It is just a matter of practice makes perfect. It is a matter of determination. Do you have the grit to get so ridiculously good at dodging Asgore's attacks that you can do this? That's all it's a matter of. And then after Asgore is Omega Flowey, which would be by far infinitely more challenging than Asgore if it didn't use a completely different HP system than the rest of the game. This is something I always suspected before now, because like watching videos, even playing the game myself, taking damage using the Omega Flowey fight, like it near the end you seem to take like very smaller amounts of damage, as if your character is sort of like refusing to die or something. And that's because you do. HP works differently in the Omega Flowey fight. I don't know why, but it just does. I don't know if there's an easy way to change this. I don't think so. It's probably not dictated in File 0, because there are, out of the few YouTubers who did do neutral runs, toxic fandom, Sorry, don't know what got a hold of me there. But yeah, toxic fans literally sending YouTubers who did neutral runs death threats was not cool. That being said, I know most of the fandom is fine because, yeah, it's just, the toxic effect, where an outspoken minority of the fans of something are very not good people. Anyways, after that small side tangent, the HP works differently in the Omega Flowey fight. I don't know if this is something you can alter without, like, hard hacking the game, not just going in and changing the numbers in a text file. I don't know. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. But either way, the way I did the run, Omega Flowey, you could survive more than one hit. That being said, I actually did manage to do it first try without dying, which felt pretty good. The only other time in a run through of the game, and I've done several, as you'll know if you look at my YouTube channel, or if you've watched one of my other Undertale videos where I'm sure I've mentioned that I've done several runs of the game, only ever in my first casual playthrough did I manage to beat Omega Flowey first try. Every other time, he's been a bit of an issue for me, which has always been funny. You'd think it'd go the other way around. So, yeah. After that, if the game might end there if you're on a neutral run. If you're on a pacifist run like I was, then you'll go back in. You'll do the Papyrus date if you haven't done that, the Undyne date if you haven't done that. Get the Undyne's letter if you've done both of those already, or, after the Undyne date if you haven't done it. Go deliver that to Alphys, do that, and go to the True Lab. Again, just get good, no specific tips. You head back, and the final cutscene, sort of. You do that whole spiel with Flowey, and you might think, oh no, Flowey attacks you in this cutscene and knocks you down to 1 HP. That's just going to kill you. No, it doesn't. His attacks just don't harm you, which is really funny. And then I don't remember entirely correctly. Like, I'm not sure, but I think, like, in that section where people heal you, they might heal you above your maximum HP in the cutscene. But then when you get into the actual fight, you're still at 1 HP only, which really sucks. I would have loved to go into the fight with more than 1 HP as, like, a symbol of, like, yeah, my friends were backing me up there. But no. Asriel is a lot easier than Asgore, in all honesty. He has a few tricky attacks that took me a few tries, but he's easier than Asgore because you don't have to do it all in a row. Like, when you die on an attack, you just get sent 2 attacks back. You don't get sent all the way back to the start of the fight. I think that's the only reason. And then once you get past, the Hyper Goner attack, you don't even have to dodge, like with the big face and the laugh and the weird diamond things and the going towards the center. I don't know why I did hand gestures. I don't have a webcam. Well, I do have a webcam. I just don't know how to use it. Like, it's attached to my laptop. You don't even have to bother dodging that attack. The lowest it can knock you is 1 HP. And then, you're just gonna struggle, then save, and the fight's pretty much scripted. Like, his big beam attack is not able to kill you. His other attacks kind of are meant to kill you in that phase. And then it's over. You did it. Congrats. Again, I'm gonna say it. I personally don't entirely feel like this is the best challenge run to do, especially considering semi-recently I actually had a dream where in the background Bergen Trucken was playing, song that plays when you fight Asgore. And it was just playing. The entire song played through and then looped. And, like, in the dream, I was like, where is that coming from? And I woke up and it was like, oh, it was coming from nowhere. It was just part of the dream. And then I realized, oh, I have fought Asgore so many times. That's literally dedicated to memory in the back of my mind. So I wouldn't recommend doing this unless you